Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. We have an exclusive interview. And when I say exclusive, I mean it's a big one. We all know that the boxing is on at the moment on Sky Sports. Is important. You boxing fans need to be listening to this interview, and you know your boy is on something major here. I want to welcome into the room my good brother from the States, Malky Pablo. Malky, how we doing, brother?
I'm doing fine, Big Lord. How you been, brother? My
I'm
man,
good,
King
King.
Ingram.
I'm good. King. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Please turn your volume up a bit so people can hear your voice and know who you are.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, let's turn the volume down just a touch. Okay, right. So, Malky, everybody's going to want to know who you are and why I've brought you into the room during a boxing night in the middle of boxing.
All right. First off, my name is Malky Pablo, the future of the world. We talking about innovation, the newest trends, video games, you name it. Like I'm the future of the world, and I think people gonna see me for a very long time.
Now, when I talk about the future of the world, the last time, well, before that, we used to talk quite regularly back when it was Bayloric over on Bayloric TV, the original Bayloric TV. You were one of the originals, and you were the PS3 king of Fight Night champion.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I had an amazing run. Record was 112-0. Be the latter world champions on both PS3 and Xbox. Now I'm branching out and venturing into other things such as tech, the video game world. Actually, being a part of video games and doing great things.
Now, repeat the record again, please. Let people hear the record that you had.
112 victories, no defeats, 68 knockouts, and on Xbox, 2,400 wins, and I believe only 38 losses and like 1,400 knockouts.
Wow. So basically, you were the man at the top of the mountain.
Yes, sir.
So when you were doing that, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but you were the online champion. What did it take for you to be online champion?
Well, just definitely, of course, a lot of practice. You gotta have a certain skill set, and I've been dominant for the last 9 years, so I think that played a major part once I started playing pretty much all the Fight Night games. So
you were dominant.
Definitely
9 years.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 9 years. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more. Since then, tell us what's been happening since then, but save the best bit till last.
Okay, I got you. Well, since then, I've started working on my company, BizRec, which is an artificial intelligence platform. We do a lot of different things on that. Then another project I was working on is a company called GameSphere. We also in the process of that right now. And that's basically what I like to call it is a Netflix for gaming. Basically, it's a monthly subscription to where a user can pay like about $25 a month. You get access to multiple games at once. It's nothing like GameFly. Like basically, if say hypothetically Madden came out and Call of Duty came out and another game like Fight Night came out, basically as long as you pay your monthly subscription, you have access to all of those games and you could play all of those games at one time. If you tired of this game, you could go to that game. If you tired of that game, you could go to this game. And as long as your membership is paid, this isn't something you pay for one game, then you got to return it back and get another. Nope. Just like Netflix. You tired of watching a movie? Go to the next documentary, etc. So we out here, Ingram. And
wow, that's big stuff. So, Vistrek, remind me. I mean, I know you talked about facial recognition. How's that been going?
That's been going well. Right now, we're still in the investment stages. But since the last time I've talked to you, we actually got the extreme amount of features. And one of the features that I do want to talk about regarding that is, you know how we watch boxing as well as I say MMA as well. But you ever watch a fight and they always tell you what copy box say. They say Manny Pacquiao lands 24 out of 37 punches, and you kind of know like, man, this is bogus. Like I love Manny, but Manny landed 13 punches that round. Y'all gave him 9 extra. So we got a solution for that. So that's one of the things we definitely want to see implemented in boxing and the MMA is our actual real punch count. It accurately counts all the punches landed and missed, and more so better than copy box. They only show you power punches and like jabs. We literally show you every punch landed. If it's an uppercut, if it's a hook, if it's a straight, if it's a jab. So we really try and take innovation to a new level.
Okay. Right. That's fantastic. Now, I want you to drop the exclusive, and when you drop it, I know the haters are going to hate it, but you let them know, brother. Let them know what the score is, what's going on. Tell them what's going on.
All right now, me and my team is working on a boxing game called Round for Round Boxing. Shout outs to my boy Jamie. He's the owner and investor of this game. Also, shout outs to Falcon Interactive for helping us come together and making this happen for the fans because it hasn't been a boxing game in 8 years, and that's just ridiculous. So far, we having solid success. Like we got the likes of Butterbean, my guy Lil B Hop. Shout outs to Lil B Hop, Counterpuncher, a dope Netflix documentary if you haven't watched it. We also got the Marcus Chop Chop Corley involved, and we're in talks with a lot of other world champions and a lot of other elites as well. So I think that's definitely going to be a good look. Yesterday we partnered with F4 Studios. So when you create your player, when you edit in your boxes, you're going to have some nice gear to put on your fighter. So we're trying to be innovative, and we got a lot of game modes that I think fans going to love, especially our amateur mode. If you guys idolize, your Usyks, your Lomachenkos of the world, your Olympic standouts, this is definitely a game for you because you don't even have to play pro. If you want to play amateur mode online, you could do that, go up the ranks. So, we got a lot of surprises for y'all in stores.
Yo, you got to get me a place in there. You got to get me a place in that game. Even if I'm a fighter, I'm a commentator, I'm something. You got to get me in that game.
Definitely, man. I got to get King Baylor because Ingram got to be a commentator. I mean, that's definite. I mean, we seen your work over the shoot. The last 7-8 years, you've been consistent as always. We got to have Baylor part of this.
Somehow, only right. I don't know if it's a banner in one of the fight games or having me, I don't know, it's just something.
Definitely. We got to make that happen. You got to have Ingram a part of it. He's the future. When it comes to boxing news, exclusive things you want to hear, Ingram is the man you got to go to. So it's only right you put him on here. That's how you got to do it.
So this game that comes out, what's going to separate it from some of the lousy boxing games they've got on apps at the moment?
All right. The one thing, by the way, this is on PS4, Xbox, and PC.
Say it again, brother. Say it again, brother.
It's on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. So I think we're going to...
One more time, brother. One more time.
PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And what I think is going to separate this game from other boxing games in the past, and no knock on other boxing games in the past, but when you have companies like EA Sports, that's multi-billion-dollar companies, they also have developers that's gifted at making video games and making them in a way to where a person say, this implement this on the game, and they just make it. Over here with us and Falcon Interactive and my guy Jamie, and of course me, like we definitely, I say, boxing fans. So, and we definitely having boxers involved in this. I don't think EA Sports did that. And I think EA Sports didn't go out their way to get at a lot of the talent. And I think that's a lot of that is because they don't really know all the hot talent that's popping in the sport of boxing. So I think the one thing that separates us is we passionate about the sport and to make sure we don't drop a complete game. I mean, the game that's not really complete. We're going to have a lot of boxes involved. We want things like angles, distance, ring cutting, pivoting, like setting shots up off of jabs. If a person want to fight like Sean Porter, inside fighting, outside fighting, we want to implement the physics of boxing. And I think for this team, we could definitely pull it off and make it a game that diehard boxing fans can appreciate as well as boxers.
Now, I know you said this is going to be on PS. You talked about this being on PS4, Xbox One, and
PC computer.
right now. I've heard many developers say they're going to do things on the PC, and then you never hear about it again. What's the success rate that you guys are going to have to ensure this happens, and when will be your release date?
Right now, we don't know a release date in hand, but definitely the things we're going to do to make sure this is a really good boxing game and it's on every platform. It's just going to take time and a lot of effort being put into it. Definitely, I say the thought is what I think is going to make this game amazing. It's about execution.
What's going to separate it from games such as Ready to Rumble, Don King's Boxing? What other games we had?
Man.
The original Fight Night, which was it wasn't Fight Night. Was it Fight Night? It wasn't Fight Night. It was something else, wasn't it?
You had Fight Night. You had Knockout Kings.
Knockout Kings. Boxing. Yes.
Yep.
Now for me, Knockout Kings 2 was one of my favorites.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I think Knockout Kings, I say 2002 and 2001.
Yeah, that's the one. The one with Sugar Shane Mosley in it.
Yep. Sugar Shane Mosley. Yeah. And De La Hoya. Yep. Him and De La Hoya was on the cover. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. That was the one boxing game that, like, son, really got me
in the game.
In the game. Definitely.
That's the one.
Because in 2001, I was what, 4?
Yep, that's
4 or 5. Yes, that was crazy.
It had a great soundtrack, right? A soundtrack you could play today and still jump up to. It had the physics at the time was really good. I liked when a guy got stunned, he kind of like froze like Frank Bruno. He kind of like froze there. And you're not punching a person, and you're frozen.
Oh, no. Son, definitely. I ain't gonna lie. That, son, Knockout Kings was a classic.
It was.
Hey, but since we on topic about soundtrack, I think that's definitely another thing that we gonna have. Sonically, I think soundtrack-wise, this could be the best soundtrack in the video game ever.
Where's Q-Tip? Is he still alive? Is he around?
Oh yeah, Q-Tip definitely still around.
You gotta bring Q-Tip in there. Come on, man.
Shoot, we might have to put Q-Tip on this game, man. Q-Tip's a legend.
Yeah, in the game.
Shout outs to the OG.
Could you get him to do a remix, a 2018 version of that video?
Shoot, hopefully. We get right now we're working on a Kickstarter, so the more investment, the more people help us with this Kickstarter, the quicker we'll be able to get this game out to where everybody can play it.
Us at BWTM will push it like no other thing we've pushed before. We want to get right behind it. We want to get all the boxing fans behind it. There are a lot of boxing fans we got contact with. I'm sure a lot of boxing fans around the world would want to hear about this and want to know about this and want to support it.
Thank you 100%. Like I think this is definitely a boxing game that I think a lot of diehard boxing fans have been wishing for. And I think I put myself in that position as well, because as a boxing fan, I feel like some of the prior boxing games haven't fully delivered what we hoped for. So I feel like it's our job over here at Round for Round Boxing to implement all the things that a boxing fan would want, as well as boxers. Because boxers still, like, I talked to a lot of boxers as of recent, and a lot of them definitely showed interest in playing this game. So from a boxer standpoint and a gamer standpoint, we definitely want it to be realistic as possible, because I'm like, the more realistic we make a boxing game, since EA Sports only make one every 8 or 9 years, so we can make this perfect. Who knows? We want people playing this game.
Now, another aspect I loved about the box fight night is when you moved up in weight.
Yes.
I remember moving from I think I was middleweight, heavyweight, and something else, welterweight. I think I moved right up to heavyweight.
Yeah. They let you move up 3 weight classes.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we working on the career mode as well. So our career mode has definitely allowed a person to move up in weight So that's why I said this game. I think we're gonna have a lot of features on this particular boxing game that's never been on a boxing game before. I can confidently say that.
Another feature would be great in the game is if you could have a situation where two things I'd like to see, like if you could turn it like the way the FIFA features are on it, you know, like how FIFA is. But if you can get a FIFA version of boxing, it'd be amazing.
See, I played FIFA before, but I didn't never like really play it at a high level to like directly know. But I'm definitely, now that you said it, I'm gonna definitely make sure I look into it. And I know you probably definitely onto something.
Like, if let's imagine you had 4 fighters, like I'm getting you 4 fighters, and that could be maybe Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield. We can have a selection of fighters, and they can all have a career mode.
Right.
And you fight as that fighter as a career mode. And like you get story modes where you get to know parts of the fighter's story. So you may meet Sonny Liston along the way with Muhammad Ali. You may fight George Foreman along the way, and you could check Ali's path. So things could change. What would happen if Ali didn't go to Vietnam and he continued fighting? What happened if Mike Tyson didn't get caught up with Robin Givens? That would be brilliant where you have the different stories so you can have.
Yeah, we definitely, now that you put it that way, because I ain't really know that much about in terms of the FIFA game, that's definitely something that me and my team definitely discussed.
A proper career mode where
a proper one.
Yeah, where you can make decisions. The decision might be like to eat the food or not eat the food, or
like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, and then when you go to do the weigh-in, you don't make the weight. And then you deal with things like dehydration. You've cut the weight too quickly. So when you go actually fight, you got less punch resistance. Stuff like that.
Yeah, you weight drained.
Being weight drained. How many games do you know that a fighter gets weight drained?
I've never seen that before. Shoot, as far as my, now that I think about it, so the only game I remember having a weigh-in was Fight Night Round 3. I don't recall any other boxing game having a weigh-in.
Brother, you need to bring me on as a consultant. I'm giving you.
Hey, we gotta bring Ingram on, man.
Listen, and the other thing is, you need to get the proper promoters' faces in there. You need to get Don King's face in there. You need to get all these different promoters around. Bob Arum, the big promoters. Get them in there.
Definitely, Bob Arum. You got Al Heyman, the Eddie Hearns of the world, who I'm trying to actually get in touch with. Shout out to Eddie.
Al Heyman would be the easiest one to do.
Definitely. Gotta have the OG.
But he's not there. You never see him.
Oh, man. Hey, Al Heyman, we want you on the game and we want you a part of it, man.
And you could do is bring back the old promoters and the old managers. They all like Mickey Duff, real legendary guys like Mickey Duff and trainers like Terry Lawless and
Eddie Futch. Yeah, definitely.
Because that way it educates boxing fans. They don't think that Golovkin is the be-all and end-all, or Lomachenko. You know, you got Sweet Pea, Perla Whitaker. Where are the guys that fitting in the game? Those guys that are going to talk about as well.
Definitely, since you could, while we on subject, because that really, now that you brought that up, I really started thinking about it, me and my team recently. Like, our fighter, I think the number one thing that's going to separate us is, one of the things I say is the fighter's roster. Like, I think we're going to have the biggest roster, I'm confident, out of any boxing game in the history. I think we're going to have the hands down the biggest roster. And the reason for that.
The interesting thing about this is if you're going to now do that with the likes of probably, like, as example, you've got Vitaly Klitschko and you've got Vladimir Klitschko, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, all those sort of guys. Where does Muhammad Ali fit now? Because he's nothing more than a cruiserweight now. Are you going to make the decision to keep him as a cruiserweight, or are you going to have him as a heavyweight?
Got to have him as a heavyweight, because even though he's technically a small heavyweight in today's time, like, he technically fought heavyweight, so we would have to put him there. But we want to have as many fighters as possible. That way, when a person pick a certain fighter, it's always another fighter that can kind of match up to him. Like, hypothetically, if a person picked a Tommy Hearns, which is a tall fighter who got speed and power. A person could then pick maybe a Paul Williams, or if a person wanted to go with speed and power, they might could pick a Terry Norris. So we wanted to where it's matchups.
I'll pick a fight at middleweight.
Okay.
At middleweight, Thomas Hearns, Julian Jackson.
Okay, you want me to match up with fighters for both of those guys?
Oh man, what a matchup!
Yeah, that's a great matchup. Like, for example, we know Tommy Hearns clearly have to fight on the outside and make sure his chin don't get touched. But that's why it's an amazing fight, because Tommy Hearns have advantages to where if the fighter who's using them is really good, he could win. But Julian Jackson have advantages to where Tommy Hearns make a mistake, it could be a very short night for him. So
there you go. Welterweight, Sugar Ray Leonard versus welterweight Floyd Mayweather.
Beautiful matchup because you got Floyd you got Floyd Mayweather that have speed and defense, but on the other hand, Sugar Ray Leonard got a little bit more height, a little bit more reach. His combination punching would be pretty high. He probably a slightly bigger puncher. Floyd is overall the more technically sound fighter. So that's a good 50-50 matchup, because if you make Floyd fight on the front foot, Sugar Ray Leonard have a lot of tools to where it could be difficult. But if Floyd is first with his jab, like he pretty much always is, and he can get the fight on the back foot, it could be dangerous for Ray. So that's why I'm saying we really want those type of matchups to where a person can definitely like adjust. Even matchups like a Salido and Lomachenko. Like Salido have a great like punch output. So we kind of wanted to where you could use every fighter, because I think that's a problem in boxing games. Because a fighter isn't as good as another fighter, it's almost like you can't use them. On here, we want the strengths to kind of be a factor on the game.
Golovkin versus John the Beast Mugabe.
That'll be another amazing war. Like, we know Triple G kind of struggles on the back foot if you could get him on the back foot. We definitely know Mugabe is going to definitely be pushing forward. But Triple G has a really great jab, amazing power. That's one of those fights to where, depending on the skill level of the fighter, the person could win, because they both tough and they both got power and pretty solid stamina. So that's what I'm saying. We want matchups like you just said, Mugabe and Triple G.
One more, mentor and master, Oscar De La Hoya, Saul Canelo Alvarez.
That's an amazing matchup, because Canelo have a lot of abilities and De La Hoya got a lot of abilities. Both of them, like stamina-wise, they kind of struggle, but they both get off to amazing starts. De La Hoya is probably the more technical sound fighter. Triple G is probably the more athletic of the two. So that's a great 50-50 matchup. And you can kind of visualize using either fighter on the game. Like, that is a fight. Every fight you just named, I can envision both fighters actually having a shot on it, depending on the skill set.
Hagler Hopkins.
That's an amazing matchup. Hagler is amazing on the front foot. He applies a lot of pressure, but Bernard Hopkins is also rough. He also can box. Like, that's a fight that can be really close in skill set. Like, I can envision their stats being borderline kind of close. Hagler's maybe a little stronger. Bernard Hopkins maybe a little quicker. Like, that's a good match. That's probably the most even match out of all of them you just named.
James Toney, Nigel Benn.
I like that one. You got the boxer and you got the guy who could punch and he let his hands go. James Toney, we know his punch output sometimes isn't the highest, and we know Nigel Benn let it fly, but James Toney is extremely slick, great counter puncher, and that's another matchup on the game. Depending on the skill set of the person using them, I could definitely see it playing the factor for either one of those guys. So we need matches like that. We need matchups. I think that's what kind of killed most boxing games.
One more. I gotta say more. Joe McClellan, the G-Man versus
G-Man. Yeah. Say it again.
The G-Man, Joe McClellan versus Roy Jones Jr.
That's an amazing. That's what I'm talking about. The amazing matchup, because G-Man has an extreme amount of power and an extreme amount of speed, and we know Roy Jones is arguably the most gifted fighter to put on a pair of gloves. So I think when you match them in a video game, like, but G-Man, he'll have a lot of opportunities to potentially hurt Roy, and he'll be able to semi-match him with speed probably a little better than most people Roy fight. And then Roy overall technical skills with his gift and ability, he'll be able to give him some problems too. So I think that's another 50-50 fight that would depend on the user using them. Whoever is the better fighter will probably win that match.
Ward Jones are like heavyweight.
Ward and Jones at light heavyweight, I think would be the hypothetically the most interesting match if we could get them two on the game, because Andre Ward is definitely the more skilled boxer, but Roy Jones is definitely the more gifted fighter. So that is 50-50. Like, that depends solely on the person using either one of them. Like, their stats and overall would have to be close. Definitely. Ring IQ is actually an attribute we want on the game. For some reason, I feel like boxing games, like, if you're using a guy who's known for his smartness and ring IQ, it don't ever feel like if I'm playing a boxing game, like, oh, I got the smarter fighter. Like, I want on the game it to show, like, awareness. Like, hypothetically, if a person is using Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather, like Terrence Crawford, Lomachenko, like, I want the ring awareness and IQ to be evident, like, oh, snap, like, you can see this guy is smart. So we definitely would like that as an attribute.
And you're going to have to get in their special moves as well.
Oh, definitely. That's the number one thing we want, because it's like, if you look at the prior games, like Fight Night, like, they have a certain amount of, like, set styles. Like, it'll say textbook, upright, like, it'll have steady, sniper, easy, like, it don't necessarily be like that. Yeah, mommy. Yeah, it's like they need more defensive things. Like, you got the crab defense, Philly shell, textbook. You need the shoulder roll. It's a lot of defensive styles that they could implement. More head movements. We kind of want fighters to have their own styles, because I just feel like on Fight Night they had a lot of that incorrect. I didn't like how personally they made Roy Jones batty. They had errors. I tell you a funny error people don't pay attention to. They had Robert Guerrero at 5'4" at lightweight. Come on, Ingram, man. You know Robert Guerrero is not 5'4". And then shout out to the Ghost, man. Then that middle look, check this out. This is another one you ain't see. They had Roy Jones at 175, and he was set at middleweight. I ain't never seen a middleweight 175. That's light heavyweight. Then they put him at light heavyweight at 175. Well, middleweight is 160.
Canelo weight. That's what happened. They predicted.
So they put him at Canelo weight. Man, I think it's just certain things like that. Like, they try to implement Sugar Ray Leonard trunks from the Marvin Hagler fight. Yeah. Like Sugar Ray Leonard was wearing the Franklin. He had the Franklin logo on the shorts. If you look at it on Fight Night, it says Sugar. That's not what the shorts said. It's just little things. Like Manny Pacquiao was fighting in Grant gloves. We know Manny Pacquiao fighting Cleto Reeves. So it's little things like that. Only a diehard boxing fan would notice that.
Yeah. So this game, as we talk about it coming out, is this really going to come out, or is it just talk?
Oh no, that's our whole goal, working on putting this together. We're going out our way to get a lot of these fighters involved. We're starting to get actual, like, brands involved with this. Our overall goal is we starting this Kickstarter coming within the next 2 weeks. So we definitely want to get people involved in that. And we got a few people interested in it. Overall, definitely help us achieve this. So we just want to make a boxing game that like, really impress the diehard boxing fan. And we wanted to wear casuals. Definitely love the game too, because in order for something to be successful, you need casuals. So we might have a little mode for casuals.
Well, listen. Like I said, I'm all yours. Send me the information. Send me the details. Let BWTM push it. We want to know. And our online station opens on July 15th. That's my birthday. So get the information to us.
Definitely. In fact, I'm gonna send you something as soon as we finish with this interview, man. My man King Baylord,
That's
Ingram
it, bro.
Jones.
That's it. So thank you so much once again. Just let people know who you are, how you're involved, and the news, the breaking news on BWTM.
It's your boy Malky Pablo, the future of the world when it comes to innovation, tech, video games, anything you name it, entertainment. I'm definitely is going to be a face that you see a lot in the future, and we're going to take off. And shout out to my man Ingram Jones, Baylord Worldwide Television. Here's the future. He's the man with the plans, and we definitely want him a part of this round for round boxing. So it's your boy Malky Pablo. We do it.
Champ, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who's listening. If you haven't heard this now, you'll hear it later on. How can people find out more about the game, by the way, and information? So I'll post it on the description box below.
Okay. Facebook, Round for Round Boxing. Make sure you go to Twitter. Follow me at Malky Pablo, my boy Jamie Daughtery. I send you his name, by the way. Make sure you definitely, I said YouTube, Malky Pablo. We got a Round for Round Boxing YouTube. And most importantly, roundforroundboxing.com. We want you all to subscribe to the emails so where we can send them to you every time an update come out. Definitely Kickstarter. And stay tuned for more fighters with videos coming soon about being on our game. And I feel like we have some special ones coming very soon for you all. So stay alive with us, and we're gonna make a game for y'all.
Great stuff. Great stuff. This is BWTM breaking. I'm giving you breaking news now, round for round boxing. We have Malky Pablo in the room in their house. This is great news coming to BWTM. It's great news for you boxing fans. We're going to keep you up to date with all the latest news, of course. Stay tuned to BWTM. We're out. Take care.
My man.